बोले सोने हाल सासरी अकाल।
Good Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. My name is Gurnam Singh and I'd like to welcome you to a very important Panth Di Awaaz program. Really historic program today. We're going to be talking about probably the most important issue that's affecting the Sikhs worldwide, which is the Sikh independence movement. We're at the Carl Channel studio in London, and in today's show we will be discussing and debating the kind of political and ideological project to establish an independent Sikh state in northern India, centred on the Punjab region. This will be followed up with a series of debates in the UK universities, which we're going to be trying to re-engage and refocus our movement at a time when tragically the Sikh nation has become fragmented across political, jathebandak and ideological grounds. The first of these such debates will be at Oxford University in November. More information about that later, but Carl Channel will be televising that debate live. The dreams and aspirations of Khalistan that were present in the early 1980s now appear to be like a distant dream, and many argue that all that is left is a hollow slogan. To understand the present situation in order to map a future direction for the Sikh liberation struggle, it is important to establish a historical context. So very briefly, the roots of the present-day Khalistan movement can be traced back to 5 critical historical periods. The first period is really from 1710 to 1716, and that's the Banda Singh Bahadur period, who defeated the Mughals and declared Khalsa Raj. And up to this point, there is no historical record of any Sikh aspirations for statehood. And all the battles fought by the Sikhs up to that point, particularly Guru Har Gobind Pasha, were defensive and anti-imperial. The second important period is 1799 to 1849, which you know is the period of the Sikh Empire, which was formed under the leadership of Maharaja Ranjit Singh, which covered a huge landmass in northern India, right up to Kashmir, Afghanistan, and right down to beyond Delhi as well. Following Ranjit Singh's death in 1839, due to infighting, the empire crumbled, and the Lahore Treaty, the Treaty of Lahore of 1849, which was signed by Dalip Singh, resulted in the transfer of total power to the East India Company, which was a proxy for the British Empire. The third period is the 1940s, when the term Khalistan was first coined by a Sikh leader at the time. His name is Dr. Veer Singh Patti, who in March 1940 made the case for a Sikh country in a pamphlet which was called Khalistan. This was published in response to the Muslim League's Lahore resolution of 24th of March 1940 and the imminent creation of a Muslim state to be called Pakistan. The country to which Dr. Patti proposed would include parts of the present-day Indian Punjab, Pakistan Punjab including Lahore, and the Shimla Hill states. In 1947 the Punjab was partitioned and the Sikh leaders threw their lot in with the Indian National Congress. Various promises were made by Mahatma Gandhi and Jawaharlal Nehru that the Sikhs would be given, quote, special status, but later they reneged on all of these promises. The fourth period, from the late 1950s and 60s, is indirectly linked with Punjabi nationalism, or Sikh nationalism, which was the Punjabi Suba movement. In the 50s, Indian states were reorganized around linguistic affiliations, and as a result, the Sikhs were demanding that the Punjab be identified as a Punjabi state, but this was opposed. Census was held, and as a result of that, Punjab in 1966 was split into 3 parts. We have now what's called the Punjab, then with Haryana and Himachal Pradesh. This was called the Punjab Reorganisational Act, and Chandigarh, the capital of Punjab, became known as a union territory. And then we've got the 5th period, which is really the present period, which covers around 45 years. From the 1970s and 80s, we see in 1971 a character called Dr. Jagjit Singh Chauhan, who declared the establishment of the Council of Khalistan, which mostly operated in Europe and North America. He performed various PR exercises such as publicising Khalistani currency and passports. At the time he was advocating an armed struggle, but Chauhan himself later returned to India in June 2001 after an exile of 21 years and adopted a more conciliatory democratic stance. Some argue that these Khalistanis were the creations of the Congress Party to undermine the Akalis, who simultaneously were also arguing for greater autonomy for all states within India, but Punjab in particular. And of course, I'm referring here to the Anandpur Sahib Resolution, which was established in 1973. And a statement was made in that, and it was primarily pushed forward by the Shiromani Akali Dal, the Sikh political party, which contained a mixture of religious demands, which were quite minor at the time, but also, more importantly, political demands for greater autonomy for the Punjab, around land, around river waters, around land reform and other things as well. This led to a decade of agitation called the Dharam Yudh Morcha, which resulted finally in the army occupying Punjab in 1984. A fully fledged attack on the Punjab in June 84, but months beforehand the army was there, the Central Reserve Police Force was there. And of course June 1984 is symbolically possibly one of the most important moments in the Khalistan movement. We had the attack on Darbar Sahib, and of course we know that the leader of the movement, by Jarnail Singh Bhindranwala, was famously quoted that if the army attacked the Darbar Sahib, this would lay the foundation stone of Khalistan. 1984 ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੋ ਦਰਬਾਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਤੇ ਹਮਲਾ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀ, ਉਦੋਂ ਸੰਤ ਜਰਨੈਲ ਸਿੰਘ ਭਿੰਡਰਾਂਵਾਲੇ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਕਿਹਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਵੀ ਜੇ ਹਿੰਦੁਸਤਾਨ ਦੀ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਏਡੀ ਵੱਡੀ ਗਲਤੀ ਕਰ ਜਾਣ ਵੀ ਉਹ ਦਰਬਾਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਤੇ ਹਮਲਾ ਕਰਨ ਤੇ ਉਸ ਦਿਨ ਹੀ ਨੀਂਹ ਪੱਥਰ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਜਾਊਗਾ ਖਾਲਿਸਤਾਨ ਦਾ। ਇਹ ਕੋਈ ਸ਼ੱਕ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ, this is on record. January 1926 then, 2 years after that, becomes a really critical point. We had the Sarbat Khalsa, and at a huge convention at the Akal Takht, they elected 5 members of what was called the Panth Committee, who on behalf of the Sikh diaspora would go and progress the struggle for Khalistan. And in fact a declaration for Khalistan was made on April the 29th, 1986. It's important that it wasn't there was no declaration at the Sarbat Khalsa, but that the 5 who were given the authority then did declare that on April 29th, 1986. Now, 1990s resulted in the crushing of this movement to the extent that on the basis of recent Punjabi elections, and we're talking about elections in the last 2 or 3 periods, support for candidates advocating Khalistan has become virtually negligible. And so in today's show, our main aim is to ask, why has this movement appeared to have faded into history? Or has it faded into history? Is that just an impression that we have? And in doing so, we're not going to be questioning the legitimacy of a demand for a separate state. This would be an insult to the many thousands of innocents and Kharkus who led their lives for freedom. So, you know, the argument, that's gone past. I think the question for us isn't whether we should have independence. The question is how and on what basis, and what does independence mean anyway. So our aim is to ask the question, if an independent Sikh homeland was to be established, what would be the ideology, systems of governance, etc.? And more specifically, we want to debate the merits of, or otherwise, of arguing for Khalsa Raj, the concept of Khalistan, possibly a theocratic state, against a broader secular Punjabi nation state, which was possibly envisaged in the Anandpur resolution, although that's part of history as well. And to help us with this, I've got 2 very able good Sikh thinkers, and they will be putting both sides of the argument. And we've got an audience here as well who will be participating in the discussion. We're going to try to make it balanced, but although we're calling it a debate, it's really an exploration of different issues. So, first of all, I'll introduce on my left Shamsher Singh Ji, Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. And Shamsher Singh Ji is going to make the arguments for Khalsa Raj, or for Khalistan, and he will say what he means by that. And making the arguments for a more secular orientation, maybe of a Punjabi nationalist agenda, we have on my right by Jagdish Singh Ji, Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Another thing that you've noticed that I've spoken mostly in English now, and there's a reason for that. ਇਹਦੀ ਇੱਕ ਕਾਰਨ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਅੱਜ ਦਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਬਹੁਤਾ ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਪੇਸ਼ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੰਟਰਨੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਲੈਵਲ ਤੇ ਇਸ ਮੂਵਮੈਂਟ ਨੂੰ ਅੱਗੇ ਵਧਾਉਣਾ, if we're wanting to draw intellectuals, if we wanted to draw professionals people who are, wise about what happens around the world, who are observing what's happening in, say, Spain and the Catalonian struggles and the struggles in the Indian subcontinent and further afield, then it's really important that we engage with them. So make no apologies that today's program will be predominantly in English, but there's no bandishta. If anybody wants speaking Punjabi, they can. So, Samsher, I'm going to give you 10 minutes really to set some of the arguments for Khalistan as you envisage it, yeah?
Yeah, okay, sure. So ਪਹਿਲੀ ਤਾਂ ਗੱਲ ਇਹ ਆ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਘਰ ਬੈਠੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਕ ਆ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਵਈ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਸੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਖਾਲਸੇ ਰਾਜ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨ ਚੱਲੇ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੀਏ ਸਾਡੇ ਬੋਲਣ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪੱਖ ਆ ਜਿੱਥੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਖੜ ਕੇ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕੌਮ ਦੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਮਹਾਨ ਸ਼ਹੀਦ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਆ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਸ਼ਹੀਦੀਆਂ ਪਾਈਆਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਿੱਖ ਨੂੰ ਤਸ਼ੱਦਦ ਕਰਕੇ ਮਾਰਿਆ ਗਿਆ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਿੱਖ ਦੀ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਹੁਣ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਸਮੇਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਦਿਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੌਮ 'ਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਬੁਲੰਦ ਹੈਗੀ। ਸੋ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਨਮਾਨਤਾ ਦੇਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਕੁਰਬਾਨੀ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਇਹ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਹੋ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਆ। ਸੋ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਆ ਕੋਈ ਇੱਥੋਂ ਖਾਲਿਸਤਾਨ ਦੇ ਵਿਰੋਧ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਰਲ ਮਿਲ ਕੇ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਸਮਝਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਕੌਮ ਦਾ ਭਵਿੱਖ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇੰਨਾ ਉਜਲਿਆ ਪਿਆ ਆ ਅਸੀਂ ਗਾਂ ਭਵਿੱਖ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਰਾਜ ਵੱਲ ਜਾ ਸਕੀਏ। ਸੋ ਸਾਡੀ ਆਰਗੂਮੈਂਟ ਆ ਜੋ ਮੈਂ ਪੇਸ਼ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਹੀ ਸਿੱਖ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਾਜ ਦੀ ਚਾਹਤ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਇਹ ਰੱਖੀ ਗਈ ਆ। ਜਦੋਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੀਉਣ ਦਾ ਢੰਗ ਸਿਖਾਤਾ ਉਸ ਸਮੇਂ ਹਰੇਕ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਹਰੇਕ ਹੁਕੂਮਤ ਦੀ ਸਿੱਖ ਨੂੰ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਹਿੰਮਤ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਪੈ ਗਈ ਕਿ ਹਰੇਕ ਹੁਕੂਮਤ ਭਾਵੇਂ ਮੁਗਲ ਦਾ ਸਮਰਾਜ ਸੀਗਾ ਭਾਵੇਂ ਬ੍ਰਾਹਮਣਿਜ਼ਮ ਸੀਗੀ ਜੋ ਵੀ ਹਕੂਮਤ ਸੀ ਜੋ ਵੀ ਰਾਜ ਕਰਨ ਦਾ ਚਾਹਤ ਸੀਗਾ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਹਿੰਮਤ ਪੈ ਗਈ ਗੁਰੂਆਂ ਦੇ ਸਮੇਂ ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਕਿ ਹਰੇਕ ਰਾਜ ਨੂੰ ਜੋ ਮੁਗਲ ਸਮਰਾਜ ਨੂੰ ਲਾ ਕੇ ਸੱਟ ਦੇਣਾ ਸਕਿੰਟਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਰੈਕਗਨਾਈਜ਼ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਅਥਾਰਟੀ। ਸੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂਆਂ ਤੋਂ ਇਹ ਹਿੰਮਤ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਦੇ ਮਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਭਾਵਨਾਵਾਂ ਆਜ਼ਾਦੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹ ਰੱਬੀ ਗੁਣ ਪ੍ਰਗਟ ਕਰਨੇ ਆ। ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਤਾਂ ਆਤਮਿਕ ਸਾਡਾ ਜੀਵਨ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਬੌਧਿਕ ਜੀਵਨ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਆਤਮਿਕ ਜੀਵਨ ਜਿਉਣ ਦਾ ਢੰਗ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਗੁਰੂਆਂ ਨੇ ਸਿਖਾਇਆ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਅਸੂਲ ਆ ਸਾਡੇ ਭਵਿੱਖ ਤਾਂ ਸੰਸਾਰ ਨੂੰ ਸਾਡੇ ਵੱਲ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਚਾਹਤ ਆ ਸਾਡੇ ਵੈਲਿਊਜ਼ ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਉਹ ਸਾਰੇ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਆ। ਸੋ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਦਿਨ ਤੋਂ ਹੀ ਸਤਿਗੁਰਾਂ ਸਾਹਿਬਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਰੱਬੀ ਗੁਣਾਂ ਦੀ ਸਮਝਣ ਦੀ ਤਾਂ ਰੱਬੀ ਗੁਣਾਂ ਸਮਝਾਉਣ ਦੀ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਾਡੇ 'ਤੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਖਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕੀਤੀ ਆ। ਸੋ ਤਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੋਈ ਦੁਨਿਆਵੀ ਤਾਕਤ ਨੂੰ ਮੰਨਿਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਦੀ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਦਿਨ ਤੋਂ। ਸੋ ਇਹ ਗੁਰੂ ਹਰਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਨੂੰ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਤਿਹਾਸ ਦਾ ਪਤਾ ਆ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਬਚਨ ਆ ਜੇ ਤੋ ਪ੍ਰੇਮ ਖੇਲਣ ਕਾ ਚਾਓ ਸਿਰ ਤਰ ਤਲੀ ਗੜੀ ਮੁਰਿਆਓ। ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਉਚਾਰਨ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ ਨਾਨਕ ਨਿਰਮਲ ਪੰਥ ਚਲਾਇਆ ਨਾਨਕ ਰਾਜ ਚਲਾਇਆ ਸੱਚ ਕੋਟ ਸਤਾਨੀ ਨੀਵ ਦੇ। ਇਹ ਜੋ ਵੱਖਰਾ ਨਿਰਮਲ ਪੰਥ ਆ ਵੱਖਰਾ ਮਾਰਗ ਚਲਾਇਆ ਗੁਰੂ ਨੇ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਸਿੱਖ ਪਿਆਰ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਬੜੇ ਪਿਆਰ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖੀ ਜੀਵਨ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਉਸ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖੀ ਜੀਵਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਰਾਜ ਭਾਗ ਦੀ ਭਾਵਨਾ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਇਹ ਰਾਜ ਭਾਗ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਹੀ ਵੱਖਰੇ ਵੱਖਰੇ ਰੂਪਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪ੍ਰਗਟ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਆਇਆ ਹੈ। ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬਾਂ ਦੇ ਵੇਲੇ ਕਰਤਾਰਪੁਰ ਦੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ ਸ਼ਹਿਰ ਵਸਾਏ ਆ ਉਹ ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬਾਂ ਨੇ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਸ਼ਹਿਰ ਵਸਾਏ ਆ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਨੇ ਗੁਰੂਆਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਂ 'ਤੇ ਸ਼ਹਿਰ ਵਸਾਏ ਹਰਗੋਬਿੰਦਪੁਰਾ ਤਰਨ ਤਾਰਨ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤਸਰ ਆਨੰਦਪੁਰ ਦੇ ਕਿਲੇ ਬਣੇ ਆ। ਪਹਿਲੇ ਦਿਨ ਤੋਂ ਹੀ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪਣਾ ਵੱਖਰਾ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਜਿਉਣ ਦਾ ਢੰਗ ਹਾਸਲ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਹੁਕਮ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਕਿਹਾ ਆ ਕਿ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਰਹਿਣਾ ਆ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੀ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੀ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਇਹ ਹੁਕਮ ਆ ਇਹ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਹਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੋਈ ਹੋਰ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦੀ ਤਾਕਤ ਮੰਨਦੇ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਰ ਕੋਈ ਵੈਲਿਊ ਮੰਨਦੇ ਨਹੀਂਗੇ। ਸੋ ਇਹ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਦਿਨ ਤੋਂ ਭਾਵਨਾ ਆਈ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਇਹ ਚਾਹਤ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਾਈ ਗਈ ਆ ਉਹ ਵੱਖਰੇ ਵੱਖਰੇ ਰੂਪਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪੈਦਾ ਹੋਈ ਆ। ਕਦੀ ਬੋਟਾ ਸਿੰਘ ਗਰਜਾ ਸਿੰਘ ਵਰਗਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪੈਦਾ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਆ ਕਦੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜਾ ਰਣਜੀਤ ਸਿੰਘਾਂ ਵਰਗੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪੈਦਾ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਵੀ ਅਕਾਲੀ ਫੂਲਾ ਸਿੰਘ ਦੀ ਛਿੱਤਰ ਸ਼ਹਾਇਤ ਸੀਗੀ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਰਾਜ ਦੇ ਹੋਰ ਇੱਕ ਪਾਵਰ ਸੀਗਾ ਉਹਦੇ ਪਾਵਰ ਤੋਂ ਬਗੈਰ ਤਾਂ ਹੋਰ ਜੋ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਸੂਬਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿੰਨੇ ਵੀ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਦੇ ਮੂਵਮੈਂਟ ਆਇਆ ਮੋਰਚੇ ਆਏ ਆ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਉਸ ਚਾਹਤ ਤੋਂ ਆਏ ਆ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਜ਼ਾਦ ਆ ਅਸੀਂ ਨਿਆਰਾ ਕੌਮ ਆ ਨਿਆਰਾ ਪੰਥ ਆ। ਸੋ ਖਾਲਿਸਤਾਨ ਵੀ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਦੇਖਣ ਦਾ ਸਾਡਾ ਫਰਜ਼ ਬਣਦਾ ਹੈ। ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਬਾਹਰੋਂ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਹੁਣ ਖੜ ਕੇ ਸਾਡੀ ਹੁਣ ਦੀ ਸਮਝ ਆ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਮਨਮੁਖਤਾ ਵੱਲ ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਲੈ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਿੱਖ ਇਤਿਹਾਸ ਨੂੰ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਤਾਂ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਕਿੰਤੂ ਪਰੰਤੂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ। ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੁਰਮੁਖਾਂ ਵਾਂਗੂ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਸ਼ਹੀਦੀਆਂ ਪਾਈਆਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਦੇ ਸਮੇਂ ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਅੱਜ ਤੱਕ, ਉਹ ਸਾਰੇ ਸ਼ਹੀਦ ਗੁਰੂ ਅਰਜਨ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਦੇ ਚਰਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਹਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਸ਼ਹੀਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਸਰਤਾਜ। ਸੋ ਜਿੰਨੇ ਵੀ ਸ਼ਹੀਦ ਹੋਏ ਆ ਉਸ ਲਹਿਰ 'ਚੋਂ ਸ਼ਹੀਦ ਹੋਏ ਆ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਨੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਬਖਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕੀਤੀ ਆ। ਸੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਨਮਾਨ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਗੁਰੂ ਦੇ ਸਿੱਖ ਸੀਗੇ। ਸੋ ਪਹਿਲੀ ਗੱਲ ਆ, ਹਰੇਕ ਸਿੱਖ ਸ਼ਹੀਦ ਦਾ ਜੀਵਨ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ। ਉਸ ਜੀਵਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਤਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸ਼ਹੀਦ ਦੀ ਅਮਾਨਤਾਂ ਮਿਲਦੀ ਆ। ਸੋ ਉਸ ਜੀਵਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ, ਉਸ ਸ਼ਹੀਦੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਦੇ ਦਿੱਤੇ ਹੋਏ ਬਚਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਾਇਮ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਹੋਇਆਂ ਨੇ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਹੀ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਨੇ ਜ਼ਾਲਮ ਦਾ ਸਾਹਮਣਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਆ। ਤਾਂ ਇਸ ਲਹਿਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਖਾਲਿਸਤਾਨ ਲਹਿਰ ਪੈਦਾ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ, ਜੋ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਸਮੇਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਸਿੱਖ ਦੇ ਹਿਰਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਬੁਲੰਦ ਕਰਦੀ ਆ ਕਿ ਰਾਜ ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ। ਕਿ ਸਿੱਖ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਿੰਮਤ ਕਾਹਤੋਂ ਹੋਇਆ ਕਿ ਗੁਰੂ ਦੇ ਰਾਜ ਕਾਇਮ ਕਰਨ ਦੇ ਲਈ। ਸੋ ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੈਂ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਸਿੰਪਲੀ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ, my position is that Khalistan has and continues to represent the possibilities of Khalsa Raj. The challenge then is to understand what that means to Sikhs. What does Khalsa Raj mean to Sikhs? A relocation of coordinates is required, of Sikhi, of Sikh being, our experiences of Sikhi. And in order to express voices that have been silenced, Khalistan and Sikhi are completely inseparable. Any imposition of definition is not from within Sikhi and Gurmat. It is from, as we will find out through our questioning and through this discussion, where those values come from and why do we pursue those values, and what in our Guru's values do we see as being kami or the shortage in our Guru's values, that we have to locate definition for Sikh Raj from secularism or theocracy or other impositions.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ask you a few questions and then we're going to go to a break. Then after the break, Jagdish Singh will come in and make the other arguments. First of all, this term Khalistan itself, what are the, I mean, you said that everything comes out of Sikhi. Where in Sikhi do we have a reference to Khalistan? So as a nation, if it comes out of Sikhi?
So Khalistan ਲਫ਼ਜ਼ ਤਾਂ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਹੈ ਨਹੀਂਗਾ। Khalistan as a
Persian word, isn't it?
Khalistan ਜਿਹੜੇ the word it's based on is the Khalsa, right? The Khalis ਦਾ ਲਫ਼ਜ਼ ਦਾ ਮੁੱਢ ਤਾਂ Khalsa ਆ, right? So as I said in Punjabi,
so it's the land of the Khalsa.
The definition of that we can get into, but like you know the question that you're asking, where does it come from, right? Like that desire for Khalistan, how do we connect it to Sikhi? So for me, as I was saying in Punjabi, is this desire is of sovereignty of Patshahi. So when we say in Panth Prakash, hum Patshahi Satguru dei hanne hanne lai jahan jahan be zameen mal tahan tahan takat bitai. So oh jiri chahat ya, that desire, the what drives the Shahidi, what drives the Sikh to pursue sovereignty, that comes from Sikhi. So let me just finish. That comes from Sikhi, and that has continued to manifest itself sometimes as in the Raj of Ranjit Singh, sometimes as in the municipal anarchy of Bhutta Singh Garja Singh, sometimes as the other examples that we have of Sikh Raj, so my mind's going blank. But it's always manifesting itself.
That's fine, and that's really interesting. Let me just pursue this a bit more then. So if we're saying that Sikh is Hamesha Azadiya, Raj, Khalsa Hamesha Karda, Khalsa never forsakes their sovereignty. Then what has that got to do with a land? Surely that wherever you are sovereign. And wherever you are, because you said yourself, Khalsa kade nahi kisi de chokda.
No.
So how do you then establish this general principle of our own kind of mindset to identifying a tract of land which you want to call Khalistan? You know, why would you be any more free there than outside if your whole being is to be free?
Well, 100%. I think that's a fantastic question. So the sovereignty that the Sikh has been taught by the Guru, it begins within yourself, within your mindset, and it comes, and the inspiration for that comes through our connection with Gurmat and Gurbani. Otherwise,
which is a religious project,
Anji,
which is about but this is a political project. So where does the political project come from religion? That's the question I've got.
So when we look at Gurbani and when we look at our connection to the Guru, any desire that the Sikh has ever had to achieve anything in the world, whether it's a Garibyan di Rakhya Jarwane di Pakhya, right? Whatever the desire the Sikh has, Sikh being, as we call Gur Sikhi Jivan, that is connected to Gurbani. So from that experience, from that reality, where what I'm talking about in my points, once we relocate our coordinates and we relocate them towards what Gur Sikhi Jivan is, from there then then the natural challenge is to elevate and challenge oppression and speak power, speak truth to power. And as we have seen in the Guru's lives all the time, they've responded as and when the world has tried to impose itself on Sikhs. So during the Guru's time, the Mughal Raj tried to impose itself. The Guru established the Taqat, and that was the law of the time. And then, you know, the rest of it, then we had the missile period and all the need of the time, they made a Sikh Raj. Today we live in a world that's defined by European thought, and politically we need a container for our Sikh being. So the Sikh is the master of all realities. So we know we have a spiritual world and a political world, as Guru Har Gobind Sahib talks about Miri Piri. So this intersection of all realities, the Sikh is the master of those. So the Sikh absolutely wants spiritual salvation, or if we want to use Western kind of terms to define it, we want salvation of the spirit, but we also want our body and mind and everything to be free, and then to be a force for good in that world. Therefore we need a base. This is why the Gurus made Anandpur de Kile. The Gurus made fortresses. The Guru case spiritually cut, but they fought and raised armies. This is all coming from the Guru. The Guru Har Gobind Sahib captured the barge of the Mughal emperor to show them that we're not just spiritually sovereign, we will exert our authority because we do not recognize your authority. Karke Sikh sirf Rabbi gun di gall karda, that je raje de vich hankar hai oh Rabbi gun.
Is there any historical evidence that Guru di kal de vich that the Gurus tried to establish some kind of kingdom or some kind of Raj other than Dharmi Raj?
So ਅਸੀਂ ਸਿੱਖ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਨੂੰ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਸੱਚੇ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਕਿਹਾ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਇਹ ਕਹਿਣ ਦੇ ਕਾਰਨ ਕਰਕੇ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਤਸ਼ੱਦਦ ਹੋਇਆ ਕਿ Sikh has never recognized the authority. They call Satguru Sache Padshah, which isn't just a spiritual king, it's a landed king in this world. So the Sikhs have always respected the Guru as
does not recognize
the sovereignty. The Sikh recognizes the authority of two, Akal and Guru.
Okay,
that's it.
So if the Sikh does not recognize the authority of any regime, if it becomes oppressive or if it contravenes human rights, whether we're sat in the UK, so
not human rights. If any regime contradicts the values of Sikhi itself, because Sikh values, pyar, nimrata, daya, dharam, these are integral. So if any hukumat violates those, then fir Sikh
if in this imaginary state called Khalistan, those rights were being contravened, then the Sikhs would uprise against that state of Khalistan, yeah?
I think when Khalistan's created, people like me are always going to be Khalistanis, because we always have an inherent rejection.
But Pakistan was created on the same pretense that this would be it would be an Islamic state. It would run according to the beautiful, as they see it, the teachings of Islam, which means peace. And today Pakistan, you can see what it's anarchy. So
I think Pakistanis would disagree with the assessment of their past, present and future, and I think it's dismissive of the realities that Pakistanis themselves inhabit. I think that Khalistan, to me it represents, is the possibility, with absolute faith in Satguru, with absolute faith in the Guru's values, the concepts, daya, pyar, sarbat da pala, all of these concepts and values, if we believe and have faith in those, then the foundation upon which we build our Raj, the possibility of that, yes, there are going to be problems, because ek karam bhumi hai jo bijna tusi itthe ugna hai, tu mare karam karo, change kam karo, itthe tanu phal milna, right? So we understand that the reality that we exist.
One last, because we'll go for a break in a minute. One last point, because often, and I said that the reference is made to Sant Janel Singh Pindramwala and his statement that the Neepathar of Khalistan would be written. But it's also true to state that he, although he was put under considerable pressure, that he avoided declaring or claiming to be a Khalistani. Yeah, he said that if the attack happens, then afterwards. So if Khalistan was such a natural thing for Sikhs to argue for, and I said that it had been argued for in 1947, and why didn't Sant Janel Singh Pindramwala just embrace it? And you know, there were Jagjeet Singh Chauhan, others were already making Khalistani currency.
So the thing is, so I also inhabit the same kind of realities as we all do as Sikhs, right? My approach to it is markedly different. I have accepted Santaji and the Shaheeds and everyone that existed in that period ke oh Sikh sige mere varge, hai na, jinne vi sige Santaji varge, jinne vi Sikh sige oh Sikh sige like me, they were the same as me, a Sikh see, right? And with that in mind, then what was it in Sikhi that drove them to give Shahidi and drove them to challenge the power of the Indian government. What did they see? What faith did they have in Guru, in Guru's concepts of reality? They completely rejected any definition of being imposed upon them. So you've mentioned in the start, right, when you described Khalistan, you described it as a possible theocracy, you talked about secularism. These are Rabbi Gun. These are impositions, and we can talk about where they're located and where they come from. And I would like to know why those definitions, why are we interpreting our realities with definitions that come not from Sikhi, they come from Europe, right? So in order for us to understand, in order for us to understand Sikhi,
we're going to a break now, So thanks, some wonderful answers there. So this is the first bit. As you break, and after the break, we will be inviting Jagdish Singh to give maybe a slightly different perspective or maybe a similar perspective. So break to baad judde hain. Fateh bulaao. Waheguru ji ka khalsa, Waheguru ji ki fateh.
106 ਦੇਸ਼ਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਦੇਖੇ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਅਕਾਲ ਚੈਨਲ ਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਵੀ ਕੋਨੇ ਤੋਂ ਲਾਈਵ ਜਾਂ ਡੀ ਲਾਈਵ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਪੂਰੀ ਟੈਕਨੋਲੋਜੀ ਮੌਜੂਦ ਹੈ। ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਸਾਰਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਹਾਈ ਡੈਫੀਨੇਸ਼ਨ ਤੇ ਕਵਰ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਵੇਗਾ। ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਦੇ ਪੈਗਾਮ ਨੂੰ ਘਰ ਘਰ ਤੱਕ ਪਹੁੰਚਾਉਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਤਾਂ ਅੱਜ ਹੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਰਿਕਾਰਡ ਕਰਵਾਉਣ ਲਈ ਸੰਪਰਕ ਕਰੋ 07702748906 ਤੇ।
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome back to a very special, very important Panth Di Awaaz program where we are really asking some serious questions about the direction of our liberation struggle, how we define the liberation struggle, and the labels, you know, do we call it Khalistan, do we call it Khalsa Raj, do we call it Punjab? Before the break, we had some really interesting and thoughtful contributions by Shamsher Singh, who gave us a very, very solid routing of our demands, our struggles, our imagination in Gurbani, Sikh history. I'm going to now turn to Jagdish Singh Ji, who's going to try to give us maybe a different perspective. So Jagdish Singh Ji, what would you like to say about Punjab liberation, if you will?
Right, the whole subject of Punjab, Punjabi civilization, Punjabi nationhood, Sikhi, Khalsa, Sarkar-e Khalsa, Raj Karega Khalsa, Khalistan, all of those are a continuum. Guru Nanak Ji came onto the platform of Punjab, onto the platform of Punjabi humanity, and set in motion a very powerful social, political revolution where he started with the individual Punjabi, liberated the individual Punjabi, and simultaneously took that revolution to a collective Punjabi level, national level, and infused the Punjabi society as a collective to rise up, become more conscious, rid itself of the evils of caste, inequality, monarchy, tyranny, misgovernance, and to get a grip on its own land, on its own soil, on its own civilization, on its own governance. And that process carried out over 10 lives of the 10 gurus over a period of exactly 249 years, transformed a broken, downtrodden civilization, revived that civilization, and set it into a powerful, fiery motion of establishing a free and independent Punjab, which you saw within years of Guru Gobind Singh Ji leaving this earth and appointing, months and years before he left, appointing Baba Banda Singh Ji Bahadur from Nandir, कि तुसी इत्थे नहीं बैठे रहना, तुसी जाके north, जाके आलो 5 झंडे, आलो 5 तीर, go to Punjab, our historic indigenous country, and establish Khalsa Raj there, not in Nandir, not in Patna Sahib, in Punjab. And Guru Nanak Ji, if you study the life of Guru Nanak Ji, 40 years of his 70 years he spent travelling the world. But each time he went on one of his 4 travels, what did he do? He pacifically and powerfully, every time he left from Punjab, he returned back to Punjab. He could have settled in Mecca, could have settled in Delhi, could have settled in Sri Lanka, and so many other places like Rome. But no, his beloved Punjab was Punjab, that's where he returned. And he engaged Punjab. He celebrates Vaisakhi, the national day of Punjabi civilization in Gurbani. He does so much more for Punjab than any other figure in the history of Punjab has done. The most patriotic Punjabi was Guru Nanak. He sets in motion this powerful revolution, which by Jagraj Singh Tufan beautifully says, the Shaheed, कि ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਨਕਲਾਬ ਅਸੀਂ ਅੱਜ ਲਿਆ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਉਹ ਅਸੀਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕੀਤਾ ਉਹ ਸਾਡੇ ਬਾਬਾ ਨਾਨਕ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕੀਤਾ ਅੱਜ ਤੋਂ 500 ਸਾਲ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ but Baba Nanak wasn't just creating something new. He, in my opinion, was actually reviving an already existing nation, a civilization, a language, a society that had spanned for thousands of years. Waris Shah, Baba Farid, Shah Hussain, Ravi Das. Why was it, as our highly esteemed, knowledge Pradeep Singh told me earlier today, why was it that Guru Nanak, or Jame Osmoke, why was he reaching back 200 years to engage Baba Farid's writings? Baba Farid, native born of Punjab, ਉਹਦੀ ਬਚਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵਿੱਚ ਲਿਆ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀ ਮੌਜੂਦਾ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ. So Guru Nanak Ji was not just going forward, he was going backward. He was celebrating the Punjab of the past, the Punjab of the present, and the Punjab of the future. And he was imbibing all these things. Guru Gobind Singh Ji, in his powerful letter, his declaratory letter to Aurangzeb, what does he say about Punjab in there? He says, if you send your armies towards Punjab, I will burn fire under the hoofs of your horses, and I'll do one more thing. If you dare to drink the water of my Punjab, I will raise not just a spark, but I will raise a rebellion. My Punjab, if you dare to drink the water of my Punjab. Those are the specific words of Dasme Padshah in Zafarnama, my Punjab. And that same spirit, that propelling dynamic spirit of Punjabi nationalism, and let me spend a few brief words about Punjabi nationalism. It was an inclusive nationalism. Hindus, Musliman. Nako Hindu, Nako Musliman. We are all shared Punjabis. We are all sharing in this Sikh revolution. We are all sharing in this national awakening. We are going to together strengthen, revive, and propel forward our civilization to a point we become masters of our own government. We create our own nation state. We go forth into this world as a Punjabi nation. And what you see under Baba Banda Singh Ji Bahadur, then you see under the missiles, something that we've critically missed out. The Dal Khalsa formed on the day of Vaisakhi, 1748. Then you see the emergence of Maharaja Ranjit Singh, and so forth and so forth. The Gadar movement, the Babar Akalis, the Akali Dal, the many further Punjabi Subha movement, the Janel Singh Pindranwales, the Pai Jagraj Singh Tufans. These are all a beautiful continuum. Tragically, terminology like Khalistan has been misrepresented, misconstrued, and sadly and tragically our illiterate, misinformed, un-international so-called Punjabi leadership have turned the whole Punjab issue into a Sikh-centered issue as against an inclusive Punjabi-centered issue.
Okay, Jagdish Singh, thanks very much for that. I'm going to ask you a few questions, just like I did to Shamsher Singh. If you're envisaging a Punjabi state where all Punjabis have equal rights, yes?
Yes.
And they'll have equal democratic rights.
Land rights, ecological rights.
But if we have a governance and the Sikhs are already, their population is decreased, may well be a minority. So how can we guarantee that Sikhs' rights will again be contravened if non-Sikhs take power in that state?
Well, in the Punjabi state, the Sikhs will... Well, see, this is the labelling and the symbolism we're getting lost into. We're dividing ourselves unfairly and inappropriately. And again, I look to my brother...
let me give you an example of the Jewish state. You know, the Jews suffered the Holocaust. Up to that point, the Jews never really wanted to go for nationhood. But after that point, you know, history was there was a line in history.
Yeah.
So they gerrymandered that state. Let's be honest, they gerrymandered it so that they have a majority in that state. So are you talking about a majority Punjabi Sikh state, or are you talking about the old Punjab of Guru Nanak, in which case we would be less than 5%?
Well, this idea of we would be less than 5%, we're creating ourselves into a block, a divisive block. We saw the demonstration of a very powerful, Sikh-focused, all-inclusive Punjabi state under the famous Raj of Maharaja Ranjit Singh, Sarkar-e Khalsa. And that was a successful, functioning, powerful Punjabi national state in which everybody celebrated the strengths of the Punjabi civilization.
That was a monarchy, and it was
wasn't
basically it was a deal between the missiles, the different it was like a princely state. Yeah?
It was, we can argue lots of labels, it was this, it was that. It was a functioning state where the poor, where the ordinary, the grassroots Punjabi was benefiting from the revolution that Guru Nanak had put into motion, and that had fulfilled itself through the establishment of the state.
Can I ask a question?
We'll come up. I'll give you a chance.
Now, this idea that we the Sikhs, they the Hindus, they the Muslims, we've all become trapped in that. And by getting trapped into that, we saw the horrors of partition. We saw the horrible... Well, let me hit the nail right on the head. As Pradeep Singh has educated me, the first ever census imposed on Punjab by British colonialism, 1881. For the first time ever, Punjabis were asked to designate and separate themselves into Sikh, Hindu, Muslim, and Chura and Chamar. First time ever. Punjabis had never labelled themselves like that. But for the first time, the British colonialists forced us to do that.
Let me just one last, and then we will open the discussion up. You talked about Guru Nanak and his love for the Punjab. You talked about Guru Gobind Singh Ji's Zafarnama, etc., etc. But surely by presenting the Gurus as Punjabi nationalists or as people who...
And the Gurus had Muslim soldiers.
But presenting them as people who are just attached to the Punjab is not to reduce their own kind of husband.
No, let me address
Wasn't
that.
Guru Nanak actually a universal?
Let me
He
address
travelled
that.
30,000 miles.
Let me address that. Guru Nanak Ji, he focused, the Das Guru entire...
Isn't that what the RSS wants to do, is to present Guru Gobind Singh as an Indian nationalist? Guru Gobind Singh was talking about Manas ki jaat sabhe ke
Punjab, we see Punjab not as an appendage of India. We see Punjab as a unique country in its own right. As many like Governor Evan Jenkins has referred to Punjab as a country and a civilization. The Gurus concentrated, they may have been born in Bihar, they may have lived in Nanded, but they concentrated their entire focus on Punjab. And yes, the values, the superhuman values that they shared with the Punjabis and for the Punjabis, they shared them with the globe. They shared them, they distribute them. But that does not make them any less Punjabi patriotic.
Okay, thanks for that. We have lots of questions. I'm sure there are questions both from Shamsher
please.
But if you can hold on to that, and I want to go to our audience as well now, yeah?
Could we have like some cross discussion, because there's a lot of things that Jagdish said that aren't, that I disagree
hold on to
with.
that, hold on to that, yeah? But I want, maybe in the audience people might have a similar kind of thoughts, yeah? So we've got some good Sikhs. So I don't know who wants to start off. Baljit Singh, do you want to kick off? I mean, are you persuaded by either side? Or let's not try to have loyalties here. Let's use our mind, our own commitment to Sikhi. Where do you stand on this?
Very much so that Khalistan is just a term, that is the current term, it's the current manifestation of Sikh sovereignty that was first introduced by the Gurus. I did have a question though.
Well, the Gurus introduced the term, but Shamsher already said that there's the Gurus didn't mention that term.
I didn't mention the term was introduced by the Gurus. I said that the concept of Sikh sovereignty was introduced by the Gurus. Khalistan is what the Panth has decided that the recent manifestation of Sikh Raj, that's what it would be.
But actually, you live in Britain, yeah?
Yes.
Are you sovereign here?
No.
So you're Ghulam?
Yes.
So the only place that a Sikh could be sovereign is in Khalistan, yes?
Correct.
Is that what you're saying then? So we all have to go back to the homeland to be free?
I think Baljit Singh raises a really deep kind of metaphysical questions, political questions.
No, not going to philosophy. Practically, if he says that he does not feel free, and a lot of people are saying that we're in the colonial state here, we're in the British, we're under British ideas. If we were an Islamic state, we would be under Islamic rule. So it logically follows that the only way that a Sikh can be free is in a Sikh state. Does that? What do you think about? I mean, that's the argument.
Maybe I can elaborate on that.
Yes.
Yeah, go on then.
When I say I don't feel free in this country and I feel Ghulam, is as a Sikh. To be a Sikh, I have to fully practice as a Sikh, and that's not possible in the UK. The Guru's ideology on Raj, on how we should be living, like Shamsher spoke about earlier, cannot exist in this country.
Okay,
And that's
yeah.
the kind of the point I wanted to make. And I know there's a tendency to kind of rush and gloss over, like this discussion has been. There's a lot of stuff that's been brought up that I would prefer a discussion on, because we can't gloss over profound concepts of reality. Like you say, Sikh is sovereign here. So let me ask you a question. Who do you consider your sovereign, the Queen of England or Tan Sache Paatshah Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj?
Well, as a
So a very simple question.
simple.
Who
As
do
a
you
s-
consider your sovereign?
As a Sikh, I'm a Sikh of the Guru, of Guru Granth Sahib Ji.
So not just a Sikh of the Guru in a religious way, also politically, who do you consider your sovereign, the Queen or the Guru?
Well, I don't accept, I'm not a monarchist at all.
So you consider the only sovereign for yourself is the Guru, right? The Guru
Yeah,
Granth Sahib.
yeah.
So same here. So I 100% accept that the only sovereign, the only authority that has a right to exercise its values on my mind and my body, because that's what the Raja does, right? It controls the minds of the minds and the bodies of the population. This is why Guru Nanak Dev Ji says, Kur Raja, Kur Parja, Kur Sab Sansar, right? And this is why Guru Nanak Dev Ji says, Rajeshi Makaddam Kutte Babarwani Desi Pardhe. These are comment. Sorry, let
we're
me finish.
talking about a land, we're talking about a place on this earth.
Oh yeah, this is
not a
totally related to.
metaphysical
No,
concept,
this is
So
completely.
the point
related.
is whether you will feel free in that land and nowhere else.
So when the
question.
Guru makes these statements, why does the Sikh consider the Guru then Sache Paatshah? Because the Guru says that the true values, the Rabbi values, they come from Akal Purakh, they come from Sikhi. So how can we respect the authority of a worldly ruler? The only authority we accept is Pyar and Satkar, Himmat, Daya, all the Sikh values that the Guru teaches us. So this is why. Sorry, let me
why
just
then
finish
be
the point.
concerned about creating worldly structures then, worldly states?
Because the
If
Sikh,
we're not bothered about worldly rulers.
because we are bothered about
But we
them.
want to become worldly rulers. Surely that's the whole struggle for Khalistan,
This
to
is
become
it.
worldly rulers.
Khalsa soye malesh se chare. So once we have power, so Satguru says,
Who's the we, by the way?
huh?
Who is the we?
As the Sikh
People
Qaum.
who
As the
believe
Sikh
your
Qaum.
version of Khalistan?
People
or
that
the
believe in
whole Sikh
Satguru,
Qaum? Because at the
believe in
moment,
Satguru.
the Sikh Qaum is tearing itself to pieces. So who is the we in the
The
Sikh
we
Qaum?
is the Sikh that loves the Guru. That's,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So the thing is, when we're looking at reality from a European epistemological ontological tradition,
okay.
it becomes very
They're
difficult.
big words, right?
So
It's
basically,
taken out of
knowledge.
it when-
Anna can explain it very simply. So knowledge and power from a European
Let's
tradition.
focus on Khalistan, not epistemology.
That's what I'd love the
ontology
debate.
or
Yeah,
metaphysics.
yeah.
That's a different issue. I'm going to.
I don't think it's a different issue,
I'm going
sorry.
to come to Sukhdeep Singh Randhawa. Sukhdeep, when I opened the program, I said that the movement for Khalistan over the last 35 years, it's had a high water point where Simranjit Singh Mann had, 9, 10, 11 MPs, where the people of Punjab almost were ready now to declare independence. But it's kind of gone down and down and down, yeah? To a point where now it's almost kind of a hassle when you see the kinds of people who are voting for Khalistanis in Punjab. What's gone wrong and how can we put it right?
I think what's gone wrong is pretty apparent. Manu koi dasan di lod nahi, sade samne hi hai. I'll just use one example or one word: infiltration. ਜੇ ਕੋਈ ਮੂਵਮੈਂਟ ਮੁਹਿੰਮ ਤੇ ਚੱਲੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ, ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ 'ਚ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ, ਤਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਸਰਕਾਰਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵੱਖਰੇ ਵਰਤਾਰੇ ਉਹ ਵਰਤਨੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ, and that's just me saying in a very nutshell because time is running out. How we can put it right is by the same token, if you're losing out, is not to say that you're losing money, inflation prices are rising and your pocket's going down.
So
You don't stop going to work.
So you're blaming the others then?
No, not at all.
So
You
ਅਸੀਂ
are
ਇੰਨੇ ਕਮਜ਼ੋਰ ਆ ਵੀ ਦੂਜਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇਨਫਿਲਟਰੇਟ ਕਰ ਲਿਆ?
Not at all, not at all. Oh, chalna chaldiyan, yeah, but I'm not saying we should give up. If inflation is at an all-time high, and wages are going down historically, it doesn't mean the man stopped going to work. So you don't have to give up on your dream. Simple jay galia as hafta hi dekh lo. You've seen the RSS marches, blatant infiltration. Not even infiltration, shaream. They're saying so that we're ਆਪਾਂ ਖਾਕੀ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਪਹਿਨ ਕੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਿੱਖ ਭਾਈਚਾਰੇ ਦੀ ਜਥੇਬੰਦੀ, ਹਾਲਾਂਕਿ ਹੁਕਮਨਾਮਾ ਉਸ ਗੱਲ ਨੂੰ ਖੰਡਨ ਕਰਦਾ। That ਹੁਕਮਨਾਮਾ is not even a decade old, by the way, and yet they have the authority to do this. These examples, look at the Catalonian example. Many would argue the Spanish people of the Catalans actually had a fair amount of autonomy going there, but ਅਜੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਸੇਫ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਹਿਸੂਸ ਕਰਦੇ ਜਿੰਨੇ ਚਿਰ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ 'ਚ ਉਹ ਕਾਇਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੇ. A very, very prime example, you come into this country, the first Sikhs or the first...
So, if you mention the Catalonians, yeah? ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਕੋਈ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡਾ ਜ਼ੁਲਮ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਇਆ. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ
and they
ਫੇਰ
still
ਪਾਰਲੀਮੈਂਟ ਨੇ ਪਾਸ ਕਰਤਾ ਸਾਡੇ ਤੇ ਇੰਨਾ ਜ਼ੁਲਮ ਹੋਇਆ ਪਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਫੇਰ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ
No, this is my point. This is my point. Then my point is you're being a little bit contradicted there. Let's accept what you say, although I accept otherwise. I think one of the kafi julum hoya. But if you think they didn't go through any julum and yet they still perceive themselves to wanna be independent, फिर असी क्यों पीछे रहिए? And the other part of it is
सवाल ਤਾਂ ਫੇਰ ਉੱਠਦਾ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪ ਹੀ ਉਸ
no, not at all, not at all.
I'd like to ask him, with respect,
Hanji.
ask it to us all. We've gone very passionately for the last 35 years behind this movement called the Khalistan movement. I'm passionate about it just as you are. However, we need to pause and take the strength of Sikhi and look at ourselves. Whereas, why is it that we, the Khalistan movement, we the Sikhs, don't include the 30 million Dalits that live in Punjab? Where are they? ਕਦੇ ਕੋਈ ਬੋਲਦਾ ਸਾਡੇ ਸਮਾਗਮਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ, ਕਦੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਨਵਾਈਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਕਦੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਦੁੱਖ ਅਸੀਂ ਸੁਣਦੇ ਹਾਂ. Why is it ਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਘਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ, ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਦੇ ਘਰਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਜ਼ੁਲਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਔਰਤਾਂ ਤੇ? ਕਦੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਖਾਲਿਸਤਾਨੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਇਸ ਗੱਲ ਤੇ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ? ਕਦੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਰੋਕਿਆ ਅਸੀਂ? Why is it ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਆਮ ਗਰੀਬ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਹੈ ਉਹਦਾ ਵਾਸਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਪੁੱਛਦੇ, ਕੋਈ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਦੁੱਖ? ਖਾਲਿਸਤਾਨ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਾਬਾਦ, ਖਾਲਿਸਤਾਨ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਾਬਾਦ, ਸਰਕਾਰ ਚੱਕ ਦਿਆਂਗੇ.
I think ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਇਮੋਸ਼ਨਲ ਹੋ ਰਹੇ ਆ.
That's what we've turned our movement into.
Let me, Jagdish, I'm going to put your point.
They've made a lot of defamatory
You
statements.
can come, Jagdeep Singh Mahan. I want to come to you because I know that you're a rapper. You're trying to connect with young people, and you talk about Khalsa Raj, Khalistan. Jagdish Singh has said that the Khalistan movement apparently doesn't seem to have connected with the oppressed people of Punjab. The Sikhs are oppressed, but there are others. And his evidence is that we haven't brought the Dalits forward, we haven't talked about oppression of women, feticide, all these other things. So is it a time to refocus the nature of our struggle away from primarily, which is a religious struggle, to a social movement, to a political movement?
I never said it was a religious struggle.
Okay, well, okay, you can come back on that one, yeah? Chalo, so, yeah, go on then. So you haven't got a view about that then?
I do, but I think they'll
The source.
No, I want you to express your view as well.
I just want to address one issue first, which is that this comment is made in passing about how the Khalistan movement had reached its heights, its peak, and now you mentioned how that like the
well, I'm talking into the votes and into the popular support. Yeah,
the popular support in terms of votes for individual Sikh leaders, right? I think that we have to make sure that we don't. It's very dismissive of us not to mention and not to reflect on the fact that it wasn't a case that the Punjabi people, the Sikh people, no longer have a yearning for freedom. We must, in this debate and this discussion, always reference to the state brutality that was launched during the movement. The Khalistan movement did slow down, not as a result because the Sikh people, the Sikh nation, no longer yearns freedom. It's because the Indian state massacred like 200,000 people. Yeah. You know, so for us to say, and this is not about a discussion about the panelists today, this comment is made elsewhere that Punjab se koi kehda nahi Khalistan. That's because they're from the same generation that remembered what happened to people. So the other thing we have to remember as well is that there was a wave, a generation of Sikh who stood, who rose and gave Shahidiyah. The reason the Khalistan liberation is where it's at today is because we didn't continue. Okay, that's the fact.
I'll let Shamsher.
And just regarding about the social movement and about the Dalits, similar to the Guru period, the Guru created institutions that benefited society. That's what Khalistan is. We create our home, and then we can bring people into the home. People who are living there already will be benefited. But when Sade Karno Agalagia, then go on.
So we don't see them as part of our society.
We do.
Why are we including them?
We recognize everyone, but we have to have. I can't bring in a homeless person if I have no home.
We've got 2.5 minutes to the break. So Shamsher, I know you wanted to come back. I'll give you a couple of minutes to respond to anything that Jagdish maybe have said.
Yeah. So Jagdish.
2 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like it's a really short amount of time, but just one thing. Jagdish talked about Punjabi nationalism. That the Gurus were Punjabi nationalists, right? The Gurus were the Gurus of the Panth that they created, right? ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਫਲਾਈ ਆ ਰਾਈਟ ਤੇ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਦੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਕਰਨੀ ਸੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸਿੱਖ ਬਣਨਾ ਪੈਣਾ ਸੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਦਾ ਸਿੱਖ ਰਾਈਟ what and the definitions we can go into that beyond that but very simply so when we
but
talk
there were
about
Muslims who were Guru the Sikh as well
so ਜਿੰਨੇ ਵੀ ਸਿੱਖ ਸੀਗੇ ਜਿੰਨੇ ਵੀ ਸਿੱਖ that goes into a bigger
Bhai
conversation
Mardana was Guru da Sikh
ਸਭ ਸਿੱਖ ਸੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੰਨਾ ਕੁ ਮੰਨਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਹਨਾ ਜੇ ਜਿੰਨੇ ਵੀ ਜਿਹਦੀ ਵੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਦੀ ਕੀਤੀ ਉਹ ਗੁਰੂ ਦਾ ਸਿੱਖ ਸੀਗਾ the rest of the definition we can go into and that's like another debate right but ਜਿਹੜਾ ਵੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਨੂੰ ਗੁਰੂ ਮੰਨਦਾ ਉਹ ਗੁਰੂ ਦਾ ਸਿੱਖ ਆ right like on a very broad level so the values that brought Punjab out of like Jagdish Singh saying the caste system the oppression sati Brahmanism the religious impositions the political injustices was the Rabbi Gun of the Sikh Panth which was the ones the values that the Guru introduced so Punjab nationalism
have we alienated the Dalits the 30% of Punjab is Dalits and he's posing the question why are the Dalits in their hordes joining our movement
so relating to this idea of
why aren't they in their hordes
why aren't we reaching out to them
in their hordes joining our movement some of them are converting to Christianity why aren't they all becoming Khalsa then if that's what's going to give them liberation
because we have many failings as a people we try to locate a definition of our existence outside of Satguru because ਅਸੀਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਉਹ ਗੁਣ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਨੇ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਹੈ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬਾਣੀ ਪੜ੍ਹਨੀ ਹੈ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਜੀਵਨ ਬਣਾਉਣਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੁਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਮਝਿਆ so where are we going to get the inspiration from we're looking for inclusion of Dalits who taught us to include Dalits Satguru or modernity or the Indian government that creates the divisions who created ਸਰਬੱਤ ਦਾ ਭਲਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਪਿਆਰ ਦੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਦਲਿਤਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵਿੱਚ ਲਿਆਉਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਇਹ ਸਿਖਾਇਆ ਕਿਹਨੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਨੇ ਤਾਂ ਗੱਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਹਦੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਦੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਆਪ ਦਾ ਜੀਵਨ ਬਣਾਈਏ
ਕਸੂਰਵਾਰ ਕੌਣ ਆ
ਕਸੂਰਵਾਰ
ਫਾਈਂਡਿੰਗ ਕਸੂਰਵਾਰ ਤੇ ਆਰਐਸਐਸ ਤੇ ਕਸੂਰ ਲਾਤਾ
ਹਾਂਜੀ
ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਰਐਸਐਸ ਨੂੰ ਬਲੇਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ
ਨਹੀਂ ਕੱਲੀ ਆਰਐਸਐਸ ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਸੂਰਵਾਰ ਆਰਐਸਐਸ ਵੀ ਆ ਇੰਡੀਅਨ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਵੀ ਆ ਇੰਗਲੈਂਡ ਦੀ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਵੀ ਆ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਦੀ ਕਸੂਰ ਦੇਖੀਏ ਅਸੀਂ ਲੈਟਸ ਲੁੱਕ ਐਟ all realities not just one and say oh guru's amazing and we magically
afterwards I want to bring Pradeep Singh as well
I didn't just blame the finger at one agency you got to cut me short there ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ example ਦਿੱਤੀ ਸੀ that what's going on this week if you have your own house if you have your own land you can't have a trespasser running a march across your streets when you're in control that was the point I made RSS one part of that ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ simple ਜੀ ਗੱਲ ਸੁਣਾ ਦਵਾਂ when we first came into this country ਸਾਡੇ forefathers ਆਏ ਪੈਸੇ ਜੋੜ ਕੇ ਤਨਖਾਹਾਂ ਜੋੜ ਕੇ ਕਿਰਾਏ ਤੇ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਰਹੇ ਪਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਤਸੱਲੀ ਉਦੋਂ ਆਈ when they became the householders of their own when they don't pay rent when they don't have a land
we're going to have to go for a quick break and then we'll come straight back after the break so a short break and then we'll go to the final stage of our program ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ
106 ਦੇਸ਼ਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਦੇਖੇ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਅਕਾਲ ਚੈਨਲ ਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਵੀ ਕੋਨੇ ਤੋਂ ਲਾਈਵ ਜਾਂ ਡੀ ਲਾਈਵ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਪੂਰੀ ਟੈਕਨੋਲੋਜੀ ਮੌਜੂਦ ਹੈ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਸਾਰਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਹਾਈ ਡੈਫੀਨੇਸ਼ਨ ਤੇ ਕਵਰ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਵੇਗਾ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਦੇ ਪੈਗਾਮ ਨੂੰ ਘਰ ਘਰ ਤੱਕ ਪਹੁੰਚਾਉਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਤਾਂ ਅੱਜ ਹੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਰਿਕਾਰਡ ਕਰਵਾਉਣ ਲਈ ਸੰਪਰਕ ਕਰੋ 07702748906 ਤੇ
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome back to the final part of our debate, our discussion. This is just the beginning. As you can see, there are so many issues to clarify. And over the next months, we will be taking on every one of those issues. And as I said, the whole aim is to develop some clarity so that we can regroup and we can actually build a movement, because without movements, you don't achieve anything. I'm going to just come over to Pradeep Singh now. Pradeep Singh Rai, who's human rights, environmental activist, and has written actually and researched extensively the ecology of Punjab. Pradeep Singh ji, if we look at the kind of Punjabi struggle, we often talk about human rights, we talk about people, religion, but the real tragedy of the Punjab is the death, the killing of the Punjab, the land itself.
Yes.
How is that connected to our liberation struggle?
Yes, I think one thing I realized in my research and in my thesis that I did for my master's is that there's an environmental injustice. We talk about human rights injustice, but there's environmental injustice happening in Punjab. Now, we talked about the water. The water is being diverted out of Punjab free of charge down the Indira Gandhi Canal down to Rajasthan, where it's causing massive problem there. They don't want the water there. It's causing malaria problems and causing flooding there also. Now, the other thing is the air pollution. Punjab has 2 or 3 of the top 10 cities in Asia in terms of pollution, air pollution. And the land, we have suffered severe land degradation. Now, I think Punjab is very funny. If you look at a map of Punjab, and I saw it on a NASA map, Punjab has very natural boundaries. And it's a map of Punjab, looks like a butterfly. Unfortunately, in 1947, Punjab was torn to half, and Punjab couldn't fly anymore. And then in 66, it divided even further. And we're fighting about this Chota Tukra, which we call Punjab state. Punjab is the land of 5 rivers. Now, in terms of the environment and the water and the rivers, we are facing major destruction and degradation. There is desertification. It's coming very soon. Parts of Punjab are also losing land to the desert. We have lost so many of our wildlife, our species, wild species, ecosites. I spoke to a farmer recently who came from Punjab. He said there are no more earthworms in the land of Punjab. We have spread so much chemical. Punjab state in India is 1.98% of the land of India.
But who is responsible? Is a Punjabis responsible, or is the RSS, the central, who is responsible for this?
Well, the problem starts on a triple level. We have got the Indian government who's pursuing these aims to destroy Punjab, to make it inhabitable. We have got Punjab leaders, and we have got even agricultural officers, corrupt officials who are promoting. As I'm saying, 1.98% of the land area using 17% of the total chemicals and fertilizer in India. We are destroying the land of our gurus. You all want to fight for Khalistan. There won't be a Khalistan left to fight for. The environment destruction of Punjab is happening now.
But Deepji, isn't that precisely the argument that's being presented, that unless Sikhs can take control of their own destiny in the Punjab, then the Punjab would just be treated like another bit of land by this monster state called India?
No, because the land has to belong to the Punjabis. You know, you cannot. The land is Sanja, it belongs to all Punjabis. In fact, the people who follow Mata, they are the people who were there before the Aryans came. They are even much more closer to the land.
Well,
the trees are sacred. Now, how many gurdwaras are named after trees? Right? I mean, the plants of Punjab, the flowers of Punjab, the butterflies, the bees, and the animals, they are sacred to Punjab. The rivers are sacred.
Let me take your point.
No, I want to finish one point.
Last point. I want
Do
to
you know when Guru Gobind Singh declared the Khalsa Panth in 1600, where did he get the water from? Not from a well, not from any place, but he got the water from the river Satluj. He wanted the people that he's creating to be part of Punjab.
Okay, let me bring that, because I think what Pradeep is saying that, and I think Jagdish made the argument, you cannot separate the Gurus from the Punjab. No madara resta pagana, no maasta resta. So if we wanted to create Khalistan in the image of the Gurus, then it has to be created in Punjab, yes? But the Pradeep says, "Aaj da tukra ja gaya Punjab da."
An inclusive Punjab.
So how can we have a Sikh homeland created in this wider Punjab? The demographics are totally against us.
Can I say one more thing?
But I'll come back to you. Let respond to that. So what is your naksha of Khalistan? Is it Maha Punjab? Is it Haryana? Do we go right down to Agra? Because in fact Delhi was a Punjabi city. Or is it the little bit that's left now that's called Punjab?
Yeah, I think Nakshe to Ponchhan to Pella, like before we get to the map, if we could just raise a couple of points that have addressed. 100%, I mean, the analysis of where Punjab is, like the environment and locating the blame specifically with the central government and the policies, it's a very calculated approach to, degrade Punjab economically, which because it affects the people because of our relationship with the land. So who has taught Punjabis, like the Sanjapon that we talk about, Sab Sanji Varta, right?
And the Guru Granth Sahib itself. is a manifestation of that.
So all of those values, the value statements that protect Punjab's environment, that protect the people of Punjab, the Dalits, all of the oppressed, the marginalized people, niche under niche, jaat, nichi hu at niche, who has taught us to do this and then raised deg teg fateh, raised langar chalao, teg chalao, tui jere loki anate controlling people's minds and bodies. Look, if Indian government was based on Rabbi values, a Raja, the way the Indian government's run right now, the description of their Raj is in Guru Granth Sahib. Oh Raja, because the values that they're built on are Rabbi values. When the Sikh follows the Guru's values, fir ode vich sarbat da pala nikalda, Khalsa Raj nikalda, Manas ki jaat sab ekke pashan bo. And then further than that, not only the values, then further than that, the Khalsa themselves takes responsibility for delivering those values. Ta kenne Khalsa Akal Purakh ki fauj, right? So the Khalsa always Punjab da bhavikh di zimmewari hamesha Sikh ne chukki hai. If you look at Punjab's history, all of the movements that have come to challenge the caste system, challenge sati, challenge religious discrimination, they've come from Sikhi, come from Gurmat. So the Sikh profoundly takes responsibility, not only for Punjab, sari dunya. So Khalsa Raj
what you're
Punjab
saying is, I think everybody would agree that the ideology, the basis upon which we might want to construct a nation state is there for us in Guru Granth Sahib.
So I'm just
going to go back to the audience now. Bachitra Singh wanted to say something, and I'm going to come back to Jagdeep. Maybe he wants to contribute now, yeah?
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ ਪਹਿਲੀ ਗੱਲ ਮੈਂ ਐਕਚੁਅਲੀ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾਤਰ ਮੈਂ ਜਗਦੀਸ਼ ਸਿੰਘ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ I think it's completely unfair to list the Guru, it's belittling, not even unfair, it's belittling to list the Guru as a Punjabi nationalist, right? When you concern the languages of the Guru Granth Sahib themselves, that showcases the fact that Guru sirf Punjab li nahi si aaye. Kyunki Guru Granth Sahib de 8 ਭਾਸ਼ਾ ਆਉਂਦੀਆਂ ਪੂਰੀਆਂ, right? Farsi, Braj, Sanskrit, Shaskriti, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਇੱਕ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਆ. Right, and then to simply reduce the Guru to a Punjabi nationalist, that just Gurbani itself invalidates that fact.
But I'm going to get him to answer that, but I just want to put one part to you. Does the Guru then invoke us to become Khalistani nationalists using the same argument?
Through the inception, through the creation of Kartarpur, the Guru itself laid the foundation of what we refer to as Khalistan. Yes.
Okay. Jagdish Singh ji, well, you've reduced the Gurus to nationalists.
Okay. I think there's a contradiction by Sahib in your argument, in that on the one hand, we as the people of Punjab, or even the Sikh nation, as we proclaim ourselves to be, we cling vociferously to the Punjabi language. You've made a point about the language used by the Gurus. The Gurus, they gave us the Panth. They took an already existing language, historic civilizational language, and gave it an order, the Panth. Why would they do that? Why would they give order and institutionalization to a Pacific indigenous language, which they did? They took writings from across the South Asian subcontinent, Kabir ji, Ravidas ji, Hor, they joined them into a central focal point for Punjabi civilization. So, and the languages they took, the Khalsa, terms like Khalsa, Zafarnama, Shaheed, and so forth, all of these are terms derived from from Farsi, which we've embraced and lovingly embraced into the inclusiveness and the beauty that is the fountain of Punjab.
Bachitra Singh, do you want to come back on that?
So, talking ਪਹਿਲੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ 35 ਦੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, you can't just reduce the idea of the Guru creating the Panth to a simple 30-second
not just
bit,
that, many others.
The simple 30-second bit. ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਭਗਤ ਕਬੀਰ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨੀ, ਭਗਤ ਰਵਿਦਾਸ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨੀ, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਸੋਚਣਾ ਪੈਣਾ, ਇਹ ਵੀ ਪੱਖੋਂ ਸੋਚਣਾ ਪੈਣਾ ਕਿ ਕਿਸੇ ਹੋਰ ਨੂੰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਅਪਣਾਇਆ, ਕਿਸੇ ਹੋਰ ਧਰਮ ਨੇ, ਨਾ ਹੀ ਖਾਸ ਕਰ ਹਿੰਦੂ ਧਰਮ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸ਼ੇਖਤਾ ਸੀ ਧਰਮ ਚੋਂ, because they were considered ਨੀਚ ਜਾਤ. The Guru is the only individual that accepted these individuals. First point. Second point, the Panth was actually created to uplift those that were being reduced to nothingness through the Brahmanic languages such as Sanskrit. Sanskrit was only being taught to the Brahman, to the highest of the high. I mean, the Rig Veda itself and the Vedas themselves.
You have to be careful there, because we have Sanskrit extensively deployed by the Gurus.
No, I'm saying, but Sanskrit, the Guru also criticizes the fact that language itself is exclusive. Sanskrit is an exclusive language. Sanskrit through the conception of the Veda, ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ Veda ਪੜੋਗੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਆ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਬੇਵਕੂਫ ਬ੍ਰਾਹਮਣ ਆ ਉਹ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਦਲਿਤ ਹੈ ਭਾਵੇਂ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਪੜ੍ਹਿਆ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਹੋਵੇ ਉਹ ਤੋਂ 100 ਗੁਣਾ ਵਧੀਆ ਆ that's what the Vedas say right that's the Veda and that's because ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸੰਸਕ੍ਰਿਤ ਆ ਰਿਗ ਵੇਦਾ ਚ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਕਿ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੰਸਕ੍ਰਿਤ ਬੋਲਣੀ ਹੈ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਖਾਸ ਕਰ ਬ੍ਰਾਹਮਣ ਆ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਹੌਲੀ ਹੌਲੀ ਬੋਲਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਆ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕੋਈ ਨੀਚ ਜਾਤ ਫਿਰ ਸੁਣ ਨਾ ਲਵੇ that's the one point so language the other point is if you are going to quote ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਨਾ ਕੋ ਹਿੰਦੂ ਨਾ ਮੁਸਲਮਾਨ ਇਹ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਆ ਨਾ ਹੀ ਕਦੀ ਸਿੱਖ ਇਤਿਹਾਸ ਚ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਜੇ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਕਿਤੇ ਬਾਹਰਲੇ ਇਤਿਹਾਸ ਚ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਚ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਆ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਚ ਹਾਂ ਇਹ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਆਉਂਦੀਆਂ ਆ ਨਾ ਹਮ ਹਿੰਦੂ ਨਾ ਮੁਸਲਮਾਨ ਇਹ ਗੁਰੂ ਅਰਜਨ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਹਨਾ ਸੋ ਜੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ ਗੋਰਿਆਂ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲੋਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਦੀ ਧਰਮ ਦਾ ਪੱਖ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਾਇਆ that's completely unfair that's completely incorrect the guru themselves made the distinction between us and them between the Sikh and the Gursikh and what Guru Nanak Patsha refers to as the Sikh Sabha and them who are the Hindu, the Musliman, the Brahmins, and this is found in our second in Siddh Ghost and throughout Guru Granth Sahib.
I mean, we've only got 11 minutes. I want to bring in Jagdeep Singh. So if we can bring in, I also want to make another point is that I think one of the arguments here is whether the Gurus themselves were offering a kind of a secular ideal, an inclusive concept of dharma.
I think that's not secularism.
No, I know, but that's why it says a kind of,
No,
a concept of
not
inclusivity.
secularism at all. No.
Because this is the important point.
I think you're imposing a definition. I have a big problem with that statement, and I can explain very simply. Secularism is defined as Dharam Deen.
I wanted to respond, if I can, to the thing about na ko Hindu na Musliman,
Okay.
Na hum Hindu na Musliman. Guruji also said in Sukhmani Sahib, Sarv Dharm mein shresth dharm, har ko naam japte nirmal karm. So the Gurus themselves are saying that the dharm is not about labels, it's about deeds. It's about how you live your life.
What are those deeds? If you read the Guru Granth Sahib, the deeds are those that the Gurmukh has inspired and has learned from the Guru. Hana Gurmukh kaun hai? Koi Hindu Gurmukh nahi hai, koi Musliman Gurmukh nahi hai. Jehड़ा Guru nu jinne apne Guru nu mukh kita, apne Guru di soji apne vich pali hai, ਉਹ ਆ ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਤੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਹਾ ਗੁਰ ਸਭਾ ਤੇ ਸਿੱਖ ਸਭਾ ਇਹ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਦੇ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਆ
Okay, I want to bring Jagdeep Singh and then we've got about 10 minutes left.
I just wanted to ask Jagdish Singh, what does he think the Khalistani should have done to include the Dalits, and what did they leave out?
Good question, a very good question.
You also may want to give your thoughts as to what they could do, but if you want,
right. The fact that the whole Khalistan debate is absent and keeps offloading or fending off this question is quite telling. The fact that we as Khalistanis are not ready to courageously embrace this question positively and keep blaming the RSS, blaming the Indian government is quite telling. Yes, they are at fault. Brahmanvad has been at fault for 500 years and more. But let's look at it from apne ghar de vich. Ki sade jehde so-called Khalistani, and I say so-called because I find them disingenuous. Kade unna ne dalatan nu puchya thode dukh takleef ki ne Punjab ch, kade unna nu kiha tusi bhi shamil hovo ਧਰਮ ਯੁੱਧ ਮੋਰਚੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਸ਼ਾਮਲ ਹੋਵੋ ਬਾਪੂ ਸੂਰਜ ਸਿੰਘ ਦੀ ਸੰਘਰਸ਼ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਸ਼ਾਮਲ ਹੋਵੋ ਖਾਰਕੂ ਲਹਿਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਸ਼ਾਮਲ ਹੋਵੋ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਮਾਰਚੇ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਅਸੀਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਪੁੱਛਿਆ ਇਹ ਸੱਚਾਈ ਹੈ ਕੋੜੀ ਹੋਰ ਆਪਣਾ ਪੁੱਛ ਲਈਏ ਸਾਡੀ ਔਰਤਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਬੁਰਾ ਹਾਲ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਪੰਜਾਬ 'ਚ ਇੰਡੀਆ 'ਚ ਵੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹਾਂ ਪਰ ਸਾਡੇ ਪੰਜਾਬ 'ਚ ਵੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੀ ਸਿੱਖਿਆ ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਦੀ ਸਿੱਖਿਆ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਆ ਜੇ ਉਹ and I don't say it in a taunting way I say ਦੁੱਖ ਨਾ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਆ ਦੁੱਖ ਨਾ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਮਾਰਦੇ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਖਾਲਿਸਤਾਨ ਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਸਿਰਫ ਇੱਕ ਜਪ ਬਣਾ ਲਿਆ ਖਾਲੀ ਜਪ ਉਹਦੇ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਕੋਈ ਸਬਸਟੈਂਸ ਵੀ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ
ਉਹਦੇ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਸਬਸਟੈਂਸ ਧੰਨ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਆ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਯੂ ਆਰ ਡਿਸਮਿਸਿੰਗ ਯੂਰ ਗੁਰੂ religious rhetoric So what's your interpretation of
his argument is he's saying that on the ground that we have not put our own Sikh teachings into practice, and that's why maybe we haven't been able to persuade other people that Khalistan, so that we are practicing what the Gurus taught us. That's his argument.
As a Sikh, I'm sure many Sikhs out there are deeply resonating with the pyar and the sharda for Satguru. That ਕਿ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਨੂੰ ਮੁੱਖ ਰੱਖਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਦਲਿਤ ਦਾ ਪਿਆਰ ਆ ਭਾਈ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੇ ਕ੍ਰੋਧ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਨਿਕਲਣਾ ਉਹ ਪਿਆਰ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਭਾਈ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਇਹ ਬਹਾਨਾ ਨਹੀਂਗਾ this is no excuse the pyar is going to come from the Guru
putting into practice what the Gurus have taught
100% and I think the Khalistan movement exists to address those issues and when we're talking about the inclusivity of the Dalits is. It's 100%. This is where we stand. Niche under niche jaat.
How many Dalits
Okay,
included?
let's
Maybe a
go.
Dalit leader that's involved in the Khalistan movement.
Pardeep Singh. But I also want to go back to Jagdeep and I want his suggestion as to how we can include those people. Yeah,
really
so because you asked the question, how can we include them? If we accept that we haven't managed to become an inclusive movement,
I don't think it's anything to do with inclusivity with the Dalits, because it's not reached that part yet. We're trying to debate something that we're not trying to be universal here. This is a movement for Khalistan, for Khalistanis, and this isn't something that can be debated right now. How we should do something or what we should do. Everything he's talking about is very theoretical. We should do this, and it's alongside with Sikh values. But there's nothing practical here. Living in a state where you're oppressed consistently and constantly, you have no space to be this theoretical. You must deal with the constant struggles that you're dealing with every day. Here in the UK, I am pressured into doing things as an activist because of the pressure of the government. This isn't something that I need to think about. What can I do for everyone else? Yeah, I'm still in a state of struggle.
Okay, we've got 5 minutes. I'm going to give each one of you 30 seconds, then we're going to have to round off, yeah?
We'll quickly address the issue about the Dalit.
30 seconds.
The Dalit community and the allegation that in the Khalistan movement, the Tariq Morcha, the Dalit community were not involved. It's a complete contradiction for me to start naming Shaheed Singhs who were from allegedly a certain background, because that shows the fact that it was so inclusive. When Sant Janel Singh went from pen to pen, where's your evidence that it wasn't inclusive? The fact that it was inclusive is because you can't see the segregation in the movement because there wasn't any.
Yeah.
So
good
it's
point.
a flawed
Okay,
question.
Pradeep, that's brilliant. So let's just go quickly, 30 seconds each. Sukhdeep Singh, 30 seconds.
Yeah, there's a lot to say. It's not going to be round in 30 seconds. Just to kind of summarize, I'll say pretty much. I think we're all singing off the same hymn sheet, but we're just going off record every now and then.
Yeah.
The main thing is Punjab needs to be liberated. Give it whatever name you want. I'd rather give it a nationhood. Not purely because I believe in boundaries, not boundaries. The country you want to defy from, the country you want to separate from. Je ਅੱਜ ਤੱਕ ਵੀ ਉਹ ਲੋਕ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਜੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਤਾਂ ਹਿੰਦੂਆਂ ਚੋਂ ਨਿਕਲੇ ਆ ਐਕਸਟੈਂਟਲੀ ਮੰਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾਏ ਜੇ ਕੋਈ ਵੱਖ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਤਾਂ ਵੱਖ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਸੰਦ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਉਹ ਰਹਿ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੋ ਇਫ ਨਾਨਕ ਨਿਰਮਲ ਪੰਥ ਚਲਾਏ ਭਾਈ ਗੁਰਦਾਸ ਦੀ ਵਾਰ ਆ ਨਿਰਮਲ is a regions of sovereignty. It's pure. ਜਿੱਥੇ ਜੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਨਿਆਰਾ ਪਾਣੇ ਜੋ ਉੱਥੇ ਨਿਰਮਲ ਪੋਣਾ ਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਦੂਜੇ ਪਾਸੇ ਚਿੱਕੜ ਆ ਤੇ ਗੰਦਗੀ ਆ and we want to be separate from that. It's very, very simple. Look at the track record, look at the human rights record. I want to say one minor point, because we often last sentence, one slow point, we often get tired with ਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਿਆਣੇ ਆ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਮੈਂ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਡਰਦੇ ਸਿਆਣੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਆਮ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ ਉਹਦੀ ਕਹਾਵਤ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਜੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਯਹੂਦੀਆਂ ਤੋਂ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਉਹਨੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਭਰਾਏ ਆ ਪੜਨ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ after they controlled the financial system of the West ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਹਾ by hook ਸਾਨੂੰ ਆਪਣਾ ਦੇਸ਼ ਦਿਓ ਕੁਝ ਪਤਾ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸ਼ੱਦਤ ਕਰਨੀ ਆ so it's not enough getting educated, you got to demand what is simply yours.
I'm going to give you 30 seconds to the point, yeah, and then I'm going to give 30 seconds to Pradeep, and then we're going to give each of our two speakers a minute each, yeah.
ਤਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਜੇ ਜਾਤ ਪਾਤ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨੀ ਆ ਮੇਰੀ ਇਹ ਸੋਚ ਆ you cannot simply reduce it to an empty statement as Jagdish Singh has done.
Okay.
You're completely ignoring the 300 years of history that went into what we have today. ਹਨਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੱਲੂ ਘਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖੋਗੇ ਕੱਲੂ ਘਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ
we can't go back 300 years. You've only got 20 seconds.
But you cannot. That's fine. We're not going to go into 300 years, but the fact is Jagdish Singh cannot simply reduce the fact that yo Dalit kitthe hai, because Baljeet Singh has said the fact, he's just upset about the fact that he cannot differentiate between a Sikh and a Sikh.
Pradeep Singh ji, I'm going to give you 40 seconds.
Okay. A nation needs to have land, history, language, a culture and food and music. The Punjab nation has a history spanning back 11 million years ago when Punjab was created. It has got a Punjabi language, the Punjabi music, Punjabi virsa, Punjabi culture. We got a Punjabi language and Punjabi clothing. I can't begin to understand where people support Khalistan. How do you define the music, the culture, the language, on what terms?
Okay.
And the language.
Thank you very much. So we've just got a minute each for both of you. So I'll let Jagdish Singh go first, and I'll let you have the last. 1 minute, Jagdish Singh.
I'm passionately concerned that the Khalistan movement has fallen into the wrong language, into the wrong labelling, and into the wrong thinking. We've turned it into, unwittingly, into a religious phobic, religious, sectarian and separatist movement. Discussions with Hindus, Muslims and Dalits, whenever you engage them, talk about the gurus, you talk about the Punjabi nationhood, they love it, they want to be involved. You throw Khalistan at them, you throw at them all this stuff about Sikh this, Sikh that, and they stand back and they freeze. Equally, the gurus came on the scene of Punjab, a beautiful gift from God. Punjab has existed pre the gurus.
Okay.
But the gurus did not create Punjab, they empowered Punjab. And let me say finally this, which nation in the world, which freedom movement in the world has relabeled itself from its indigenous name? Kashmir is still Kashmir, Catalonia is still Catalonia, Kurdistan is still Kurdistan. Why are we relabeling the beautiful Punjab into another label which is artificial?
Thank you very much. You've got a minute, just to sum up.
I just want to say in closing that everything we're finding, the definitions that we're trying to locate to understand us, to understand who we are as a people, to understand what Sikhi means to us and kiddan ke Sikhi ta Padshahi ek duje de naal mel kardiyan hai. Those definitions, those concepts, those location to understand that has to come from within Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, our itihas, our reni beni, our ret, our values. You know, the idea that we don't include Dalits, our soch, what Satguru has bakshed us, we don't see Dalits, we see human beings. Dalits were created by Brahmanism, created by the caste system. These definitions of nationhood, of secularism, of theocracy, where did they come from? They're not from Gurbani. Rabbi gun thoro secularism, Rabbi gun nega, theocracy, Rabbi gun nega. So where do they come from? They don't come from Sikhi, they come from a very specific place in the world. It's called Europe. So je asi apne aap da bhavik saam banaya, je asi apna jeevan saam banaya, je asi oh Rabbi gun ਸਾਡੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪੈਦਾ ਕਰਨੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਸਿਰਫ ਤਾਂ ਸਿਰਫ ਧੰਨ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਸੱਚੇ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਨਿਕਲਨੇ ਆ ਜਿਹਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨ ਤੋਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਝਿਜਕ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ
ਦੱਸਵਾਂ ਅਕਾਲ ਚੈਨਲ ਦੇ ਕੋਈ ਵਿਊਜ਼ ਆਪਣੇ ਹੈ ਨਹੀਂ we bring people here together to debate in an open democratic way. So please bear that in mind, and if anybody has said anything that's upset anybody's, मैं अपने ਵੱਲੋਂ माफ़ी मंगदा. Our aim is to engage. ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਆਜ਼ਾਦੀ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ. That's why we didn't bring somebody here to argue against Sikh independence. Yeah. ਸਵਾਲ ਇੱਥੇ ਆ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਮੂਵਮੈਂਟ ਅੱਗੇ ਚਲਾਉਣਾ. This is the beginning. We will be having more debates, heated debates, and I'm sure we will come to some resolution. So ਇੱਥੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਫਤਿਹ ਬੁਲਾਉਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ. Thanks for everybody that's come here. Thanks for the viewers. ਫਤਿਹ ਬੁਲਾਓ. ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ.